So, nobody struggles when the market is going up. We all love it. You are doing your dance, you are, chilling. You're like, but I'm a genius. Everybody's a genius. And exactly, that's the easy part. When the market is going up, the rising tide lifts all boats. It doesn't test you. But the real test comes when your portfolio is down 20% and 30% and 50%. And heck, it doesn't feel temporary. You're like, wait, I thought my numbers were right. I must have screwed up. I must have made a mistake. What? Nobody's a genius when the market goes down. You barely can even know why. And that's where most advice falls short. Because when the market drops, you start hearing things like, just be patient. It's okay. Just hang on. Stay the course. Let it go to zero. Don't panic. You have to wear your big boy pants. And yeah, I understand that's directionally right. But when it's your hard-earned money, your time, your plans, like you have put in the work. Be patient. That can just feel like, what? They don't understand. It seems like you're telling you to just sit in a burning house and just like, oh, wait a minute, it's gonna go up by itself. You are burning up inside. It doesn't feel like they get it. Like, do you know that this is my money? Because the issue isn't just the market going down. It's my life here. The issue is the uncertainty. Will it ever come back up? If it comes back up, will it ever hit my, entry price? Like, how long is this going to last for? You don't know. When will it recover? You don't know. Like, are you even positioned to recover? Or to at least correct? You don't even know. And your brain starts searching for control. You literally jump into panic mode. What do I do? And that's exactly when people make the worst decision. Okay, before we move forward, if you're new here, welcome from wherever you've been. I'm glad you stopped by. Welcome. My name is Desnile. I'm a Harvard-trained ex-Wall Street professional helping real people take control of their money. I would love to have you subscribe, so join us. We have room for you. Now let's jump back in. This is exactly when people make the worst decisions. They panic sell because just make it stop. Make the bleeding stop. They just want the bleeding to stop. So they sell and they lock in their realized losses. They stop investing because it just feels pointless. Like, oh, I had $10,000. Why did I make up to $7,500? I've lost $2,500. It took me so long to save that money up. And they do something even quieter. They start hovering around their account. They start refreshing. They start watching the market like a hawk. They start second guessing themselves. It just feels like your brain is gonna turn into a confetti. You're trying to gain control, but you're just slowly losing your mind, losing trust in your own strategy, losing trust in the plan that actually got you there. And to be honest, I get it. I actually understand. Market downturns can be really, really hard. They don't just test your portfolio, they expose all your insecurities. They expose whether or not you even had a plan to begin with. So I understand when things don't go quite as planned, especially in the market, it definitely induces panic. And I'm not here to say that I'm not one of those people. I actually panic sometimes too because I'm just like, what is going on? What's driving this? So I understand. I get it. But okay, what should we actually do? You and I, what should we do? Not emotionally, strategically. What are we supposed to do when the market goes down? We're going to break it down in a second. The first thing that you want to do is you want to re-anchor your timelines. Ask yourself, this money, as we've talked about your different categories, what is this money supposed to be used for? When do I need this money by? Is this money long-term? Because if it's long-term, then today's drop and this month's drop or this 3 months drop, that's not a signal. That's noise. You were in for the long haul, right? But if the money is more short-term and you need the money soon, then the issue is not the market. The issue is that money should have never been positioned in the market. The issue is really how that money was initially positioned. That short-term money should be in a separate bucket. Number 2, separate your goals in your money bucket, your portfolio. Your short-term money should not be in the market because the market is crazy. The market doesn't, as they say in Nigeria, the market doesn't let anybody papa. Your long-term money should not be judged by short-term drops. Short-term drops happen. The president can tweet today and the market is in shambles. So when everything is mixed together, every dip feels like danger. It feels like danger, 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 because you didn't pre-plan properly. But if you want to keep investing, which brings us to number 3, if you want to keep investing, you need to understand your why. Yes, you're buying at lower prices. That's great. But more importantly, you are reinforcing the system that should work over time. So, what is your why? Why are you getting in the market? And do you have a plan for this market? Consistency is not about optimism, it's about your structure. It's about the system that you are creating. I want to be consistent in doing this because I know that if I'm able to do it for long enough, it can compound. Okay. And then in the market, there's something called the fear and the greed index. This is such a beautiful topic because it measures how emotional the market can be, or at least the people behind the market can be. It measures how the people, we, behave when the market drops and drops hard. That index usually sits in fear when the market drops. As you know, a lot of people are just like panicking and maybe they're selling and things like that. And you probably heard the quote, be greedy when others are fearful. And I actually really respect that quote because in theory, it sounds powerful. It sounds like, yeah, I should be greedy when others are fearful. But in practice, it could be very dangerous advice depending on who it is that's taking that advice. Because if you don't know what you're doing and you just double down because everybody's being fearful, because being greedy, doubling down without a plan, that's just panic sitting in a different outfit. That's just you setting yourself up for a bigger blow up. But you see, if you had a solid plan, then you can say, okay, people are fearful. I'm gonna be greedy because if your foundation was solid to begin with, yes, then you know, all right, this is where I can really lean into. If your portfolio was built intentionally, if you had a clear understanding of your timelines and your time horizon, if your money was properly allocated previously, was already pre-designed, I mean, of course, at that point, yeah, it makes sense. People can be fearful, and that can really be an opportunity for you to pick things up at at much lower cost basis than other people would have. But if you were unsure about your setup to start with, if you weren't really sure, and you're just, dabbling here and there, you're just mixing short term and long term money, that can take your breath away. That can take your breath away. If you didn't know what your investments were for, if you hadn't pre-allocated them, separated them, that can maybe really give you hard palpitation. And maybe that's not the time to be greedy. Okay. Maybe that's the time to just take a step back and really get clear on what your goals were and or what you want to do and actually make a solid plan because the market can throw can throw surprises at you. And fear in the market, it doesn't just create opportunity by itself in isolation. It's the clarity of where you're going, it's the clarity of how you're participating, how you are showing up in the market. That is what creates opportunity, not just the market price movement by itself. And even with all of this, even with everything that we've discussed, it still won't feel good. I have to be clear about that. Market drops doesn't feel good. Like watching your money go go up into thin air, like, oh, that's great. No, it's gonna be uncomfortable. So that feeling wouldn't go away. But your strategy, that remains. The way that you pre-design and pre-sketch your portfolio, that confidence, that remains. And that's the difference between feeling uncomfortable for a sustained period of time because the market is down and feeling unprepared, feeling like this just hit you from left field. You weren't even prepared for that. You weren't even planning for this to happen at all. We need to understand that being prepared is completely different from, I'm just uncomfortable for now because of the situation around me. Planning matters. And that's exactly why you need to pre-plan before getting into the market. Because if you already pre-decided what your money is for, if you already knew how long this money was supposed to be in the market for or when you would need it, then moments like this, you sort of expect it, and it doesn't force you into decisions that you normally wouldn't have just made. It would just help you reinforce, hopefully, the discipline that you wanted to have in the market, right? It wouldn't force you into bad decisions. It wouldn't force you into things that you normally wouldn't have done. It would just help you, hopefully, stay guided, stay disciplined. And the goal is not to avoid downturns because you really can't avoid them. The goal is to be prepared for them, to be ready for them. We will hit potholes, but Hopefully, we don't torpedo when we do so. And when your short-term life is protected, things that don't belong in the market are not in the market, then your long-term money has time to thrive, right? Then you know that your decisions that you're making, they're not out of panic. They're not because you are pushed to the wall, because your back is pushed to the wall. So you're going to lock in that loss. And, no, you're not doing that. And that's how people build real wealth. You build real wealth because you can think about the longer term horizon. You're not thinking about volatility and, just sort of doing the dance with volatility. You're prepared for volatility. You can take on volatility. You knew it was going to happen and you're ready to ride it out. It sort of doesn't matter to you, not because it feels good, but because maybe you can turn a blind eye because your life can still keep going smoothly. And so when the market is down, don't just ask, should I be patient? Because that's maybe the lazy question to ask. You want to ask yourself, was I positioned for this? Did I prepare for this? Because yeah, patience can work, but it only works best when it's backed by a plan, when it's backed with a predefined, backed by a plan designed by you to fit your life. When your portfolios are systematized and you know exactly what goes where and when, all the different structures that you should put in place, then maybe a market drop wouldn't take your breath away. It might make you feel uncomfortable, of course, but maybe it wouldn't completely disrupt your life. And if you love content like this, I would love to invite you to the family. Please join us, subscribe. It costs you nothing. And while you are there, turn on the notification bell so that you can know whenever we drop any new videos on this channel, which will be weekly, by the way. And I would love to continue to hear from you guys. How do you react when the market is down? Tell us the honest truth, because sometimes it could really be difficult. I want to hear your thoughts in the comment down below. And please, please, please check out our other videos. We have lots of good stuff on this channel. We'd love to have you join us. And until the next one, I will see you very soon. Bye.